Hi guys, finally we have made it to the 1000 rounds on the IO Sporter AK. For those who missed the first episode, we have encountered the problems with the iron sights. The drum was drifting to the left and to the right, and you could manually move it by using the power of the thumbs. So we couldn't zero the rifle using the iron sights, and we had problems with magazines feeding to the rifle. So what I had to do is sort out the magazines. Some of the surplus magazines were not fitting in this rifle, and I don't know, some of the magazines are extremely loose in that magazine, well, more than usual. Not that much of the wobble back and forth to the left and right, but back and forward. And what is happening, you got always a failure to feed. So I sort out the magazines, and we basically using the magazines which feed in this rifle. Now they do work in other all my other AKs, but somehow there is something in that magazine well which is preventing to work on this rifle. That's fine. Moving forward. Now, to the defense of the IO, or not defense, they have contacted me and they said that they are mailing to me the brand new drum for the iron sights and also that cleaning rod. They said the cleaning rod is in the mail. So hopefully it will arrive for the next episode. I can swap it and we can try to go back to the iron sights and do something about it. Interestingly enough, I have tried to put 3 different mounts from the RS Regulate. As you can see, I came prepared, I was ready for it, and somehow they do not fit that rail. No matter how much I will move these adjustment screws, no matter what I'm doing, I cannot slide in on that over that first block on the side rail. So I couldn't use any optics today, and all the shooting scenes, basically when I'm shooting this rifle, I'm just pretending that I'm aiming. I was still keeping it safe, but basically shots were not going to the very precise targets. Anyhow, enough of this bullshit talk. Let's focus on cosmetics. As you guys can see, the front lower handguard moved away from the receiver, and on this side you can actually see that this nice wood chip out and it's walking on that now the loop for the sling. Okay, so I don't know why is this happening, but it's just moving out. Other than this, we did drop the rifle on the concrete 3 times. It went on the magazine, it went on the side, and it went on the side. Every time, with the exception, if I remember this once correctly, it was a problem with a failure to feed. But from all the drops, the rifle cycled. Rifle cycled through all the rounds in the magazine, with that exception of the one which was failure to feed, and again it was, I think, surplus magazine. Now the wood took some beating, but as you guys can see, it's holding up. The wood is holding up. There is no movement. See, I cannot move the rear stock. The screws are holding up very nicely. The only thing what changed is that gas tube become now the very loose, and it's making that clunky noise. Also, there was a few instances when the dust cover got basically kind of wedged, and it was staying like this. It's a very, very flimsy dust cover, but it stayed in place and it didn't move. All right, now let's see what we got inside, what's happening inside. During the sand tornado, the rifle went through the sand tornado test, and we had either 4 or 5 rounds at the first time and 4 or 5 rounds on the second time, but it was 9 rounds in total during the sand tornado test. And basically what was happening was a failure to feed, and then the bolt just got jammed in the rear, so it didn't even move the round forward. So that was the malfunction on the rifle. So in the sand tornado, and it wasn't, you guys can see footage from when I was cleaning this rifle. You really didn't get that much of the sand. Ula was just not dropping the sand generously. So the rifle was clean, and almost clean, and I was kind of surprised that it stopped only at such a low rounds count, but it is what it is. Also, we dunked the rifle into the creek, and again it had the stoppage. It was the failure to feed from the magazine, but then it was a light primer strike, but I picked up that round, I put it back, and the rifle shoot that round just fine and cycled through the rest of the rounds. So that's it. That's the feedback from after the creek and from the sand tornado. Malfunction. There is a round in the chamber. And it's a good one. It's I don't know, light primer strike, I think. Okay, we'll see. Put it back. Again. Okay. Of course, we did also the push-up test on the rifle, and the rifle cycled after the push-up test. All right. All right, let me get to the guts of this rifle. Rifle is still hot, that's why I'm wearing my gloves, guys. All right, let me have a look at the bolt. First, we'll start with the bolt with the locking lugs. All right, so as you can see, well, I'll post the pictures, guys, on the pictures of the locking lugs, and hard to tell right now. The good thing is I don't feel any depressions over here. Here you can see the metal was working in the fresh metal marks, but it doesn't look like anything is missing. How we are looking on the back of the locking lugs, because this is where you may have the problems. No, this is rather flat, and I don't feel under the tip of my finger, I don't feel any depression or any breakdown in that locking lug. The same here, all looks good as of right now, but again, I'll take a pictures. You guys should be seeing them, and let me know if you see something which is not right. And the bolt face is looking good so far too, and this is back of the bolt with the firing pin. And again, we had that one light primer strike, but as I said, I put that round back and it shot it. So all right, for the bolt, I pretty much that's it. I don't see anything else on it. Let me see how we are doing with the bolt carrier, because the bolt carrier is taking a beating here. This was similar to what the RDS-47 had. Remember, guys, this part, I'll check the trunnion later on. Yep, and you can see the fresh mark on the trunnion as well. So the bolt carrier is slamming against the front trunnion, and this is why it's marking it out. Then the channel so far looks good. We'll be watching it. All these are just the fresh marks from the finish being gone, so hard to tell anything from here. Here is that signature rivet for the piston, which is done vertically on the IO rifles. And how are we doing on the tail? Well, the tail is starting to take a beating a little bit, okay? And you can see it got splashed over here. I'll post the pictures. There is a deformation. You can see that the tail got deformed, and this is surprising because, you know, I hate those guys. I do not understand why this exists, but they include the buffer. So this is happening with the buffer. I did not modify the recoil spring. You can clearly see it's an IO ink mark on it, and the buffer stays on the recoil spring, and I will not remove it. All right. Now let's have a look at that trunnion. As I said, the front of the trunnion over the chamber, this is where that bolt carrier is slamming to it. And how we are looking on trunnion here, all this so far looks okay. I don't feel anything with the tip of my finger happening here. How we are looking at the bottom, and at the bottom again all you can see are just the fresh marks from working on it. Now the rivets, guys, right off the bat I will tell you there is something wrong happening with this rivet already. The rivet is tilted and pointing outward from the receiver, and that one is looking funky too on the other side. This is the rivet for the trunnion. The first rivet on this side for the trunnion has a gap as well. It's separated from the receiver wall, so the rivets were not crushed very nicely, and that one is looking funky too, but it's still holding up. That one is holding up, it's just you can see it's completely tilted, and that one is screwed up too. The pin for the barrel, this is interesting, guys. I don't know if I can capture this on a picture, but the barrel pin moved. It's completely sticking out on the right side, but the left side is flush. So I don't know, I'll watch the barrel pin, maybe this is how it was, but definitely I'll take a picture and show you what I was talking about. And the trigger looks good. What kind of trigger they put? It's unmarked. There is completely no markings on the trigger, guys, so it looks like a Tapco trigger, but God knows what they got. Okay, I really cannot tell. There is no marking, absolutely no marking on the trigger. Funny thing, this is the problem which we had on that WBP rifle. The rivet for the magazine catch is moving, sliding off, and you can clearly see it came out on the right side. So what I'm going to do, I will attempt to fix it with the bottom of the magazine. I just need a steel magazine and I will tap it back in, and we'll see how this is going to hold up. All right, let me see right now. Oh, this was loose. Let me see what's happening with that gas tube. Alright, the gas tube inside looks perfectly normal. I don't see any wear of marks, and the catch, which is locking mechanism, is looking good too. Nothing wrong with that part here. And then we got the bottom of the barrel. Finish stays surprisingly nice. There is no bubbling, no nothing. We had the initial smoking done during the magazine dumps, but this was basically oils, you know, still burning out from the production. But so far so good. The finish is not, you know, bubbling. Even after the drops, I don't see any scratches. So it looks like a really, you know, they did the parkerized job, and they did the good finish on the parts of the rifle. The gas block looks good too. I don't see any damage to the gas block. Pins are staying in place and it's not moving. So, and the front post, as we know, it's drifting on his own. So the front post is living her own life, but it's staying in place for the purpose of this episode. It's drifting. See, oh, now it's completely drifting. I mean, you can just see, guys, can you hear it? This is me moving front post left and right, but as I said, the replacement is coming, and the rear stock, I already talked about it, it's holding up nicely. So this is very nice wood, to be honest with you. Also, guys, we did the no-go test, and after the first 1,000 rounds, the rifle is still not closing on the no-go gauge. So the first 1,000 is behind us. We have some points to watch. Let me know, please let me know if I have missed anything, because this is, you know, right after the shooting I'm doing this, guys. If I have missed anything, please let me know, and we'll address this issue later on. That's it. Thanks for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions. Have you seen this?